Everyone, good morning. Welcome to this channel. So in last videos we covered up to chapter 4. So from today I'll be starting chapter 5. Today I'll be covering the introduction section. Okay. So let's start control statement and introduction section. So from here our programming will start. So let me explain this you theoretically, and in programming we have already uploaded the video. Okay. So the chapter is control statement. Okay, so it is very important question. So both theory plus numerical can be asked from this chapter. Okay, so while explaining I'll be telling you whatever theories we can get from this chapter. Okay, so what is control statement? So before studying control statement we already have studied general statement or sequential statement. Okay, so what is sequential statement? So in previous programs, like for example, write a program to add two numbers. So what was the process? The process was the programming was in a sequential manner, that is in a straight manner. We have to follow each instructions one by one after another. Okay, there was no alter. Fine, so that was called sequential program, in which the tasks are performed, sequentially we can say, or in line by line, in a particular order we can say. Okay, so the opposite of this sequential statement is called control statement. It means that these are the statements which alter the flow of a program. Okay, so if you are writing a particular program and if you are going to deviate from here, or if you are going to alter it, so it is called control statement. Okay, so this alteration can be either like in the form of condition, like if it is true or false, you have to follow a condition, that is you have to test for true or false, or either it can be performing a particular task a number of times. For example, in case of looping. Okay, so if you are following the order like true and false, if it is true then go here, if it is false then go there. So this is a type of control statement. Okay, so it is called decision. Okay, you have two paths, so you have to make decision, you have to go here or go there. So this is called decision statement. Or you have to perform a particular task a number of times. For example, print hello world 10 times. Okay, so this is the same task that you are going to perform 10 times, printing hello world. Okay, so no need to use printf statement 10 times, you can use looping here. Fine, so this decision can be again divided into two parts. So let's write here types of control statement. Okay, so this is further divided into two types, that is decision making statement and let me erase this and write. Okay, it's important, this can be asked in exam. Okay, so first question that can be asked in exam is what are the types of control statement. Okay, so it can be asked for 4 to 6 marks. So the various types, there are two types of control statement, you can say two types of control statement. Okay, so what are these? So first type is decision making statement, you can say, and second type is looping statement, you can say. Okay, so the example can be, before starting the types of these also, the example can be, for example, you have to make a particular decision, write a number to find whether a number is even or odd. Okay, so either a given number can be even or odd, it cannot be both. Okay, so either you can say that this number is even, or you can say that this number is odd. Okay, so this type of statement contradicting like two past statement, they are called decision making statement. And for example, as I told you, write a program to print your name 10 times. Okay, so you are going to perform the same action 10 times, so that is called looping statement. So inside this decision making and looping statement we have further the types of decision making and the types of looping. So they are, first one is if statement. So we are going to learn about each statement in very detail with algorithm, flowchart and programming. Second is if else statement. Third is if else if statement. Okay, else if statement. Fourth is nested if. So I'll be telling what are all these statements. Nested if else statement. And fifth is switch statement. Similarly, in looping we have three types of loop, that is for loop, while loop, and do while loop. Fine. So these are the types of these decision making statements. So we are going to study each statements one by one with algorithm and flowchart. So this is very important. Please understand the concept, otherwise it will be hard for you to cover other topics in C programming. So first statement is, let's go here, it is decision making statement. Let me write here only. Okay, so what does it tell? So as I told you, it tests a condition. Okay, test a condition. So what is condition? For example, if I told you write a number to find whether a number is even or odd. So if a number mod 2, if we divide a number by 2, and this is a sign of modulus, that is remainder. So if the remainder is 0, then it is called even number. Okay, so this is the condition. It is used to test a condition and allow to execute any statement based on true or false. Fine. So this is known as decision making statement. This is sometimes also called branching statement. Okay, so if in exam they ask you what is branching statements, and don't get confused, decision making statement is also known as branching statement. Okay, or another name can be, so let me write all the names of this, otherwise you'll get confused. So it is also called branching statement, or this is also called selection statement. Fine. So let's study about each of these statements in detail. So first one was in table I written. So first one was if statement. So let us start with a number, which is if statement. Okay, so the program of all these statements have been covered in tutorial 5.2. okay, so please go there and see the programs for all these statements. In this tutorial I'm just going to tell you about the theory portion, okay, like algorithm, flowchart, and what is the definition, like this. So if statement, it is used to control the flow of execution. Okay, so here the statement can be evaluated only for either true or false. This is not a branching type of statement. Only one, if only. Okay, there is only one condition is fulfilled here. Okay, so this is used to control the flow of execution only for one condition. Okay, for example, the syntax of this will be, this can be asked in exam, write the syntax of a statement, if a statement. So the syntax is if test condition, okay, and if this statement, if this condition is true, so what happens? We execute the statement block. Okay, so what will be the flow chart of this? So we start here. Now for condition we have this type of diamond type symbol. Okay, so here we write the test condition. Okay, test condition. So if it is true, okay, as I told you, if it is true, it goes inside the body of if statement and execute the statement, and it exit from here. Okay, so in if statement, as it is only if statement, if it is false, no other statement executed, it directly goes to the exit point. Okay, fine. So this is example of if statement. So what can be example of this? So this is the syntax and flowchart of if statement. So what can be example? Let's go to example part. For example, write a program to find whether a number is negative or not. So what you can do is you can write a condition like this: if num is less than 0, okay, then printf it is negative number. Okay, so nothing to do with a positive number. So if it is positive, so we don't have to print anything. Simply we have to print this number is negative or not. It is negative. Fine. So this is the example of if statement. So all the examples has been covered in tutorial number 5.2. Please go there and see the examples. Okay. So next we have, okay, so 2 number we have nested if. So what is nested? Nested if means a if statement which is inside another if statement. Okay. For example, its syntax will be if, okay, test condition, and inside this, inside the body of if, there is another if statement. Okay, so finally the body of this will be executed. So please be careful with the brackets. So there is a bracket of this is if statement, and again there is a bracket of this if statement. Okay, so the example can be if my marks is greater than 40, and inside this, suppose this is marks of math. Okay, so if my math marks is greater than 40 and if my English marks is also greater than 40, then only I can say printf pass. Okay, so for example, if your marks is 50 and if your English marks is 20, so let's see what happens. So marks is greater than 40, true. So if it is true, it goes inside the body of this if statement. It means that it comes here. Okay, so again it checks. English marks is greater than 40, no. So it will not go inside this. It will just terminate from here. So it is not going to print pass. Next condition, for example, math marks is 20 and English marks is 40. So it comes here. M greater than 40? No, it is not greater than 40. So it is not going to get inside this. It is not going to check these conditions. It will directly come out of this if statement. Okay, so this is the example of nested if. An if statement inside another if statement. So let me write the draw the flowchart for this. Okay, so we'll go and check the first test condition, 1. If it is true, then it goes to another test condition, that is 2. If it is also true, then it is going to execute the statement. Okay, and finally it is going to exit. Okay, so what happens if it is false? So if it is false, it is just going to terminate. If even this is false, it is just going to terminate. Okay, so this is let me write true here. So this is the flowchart of nested if. Okay, I hope you are getting this. So if you want, I can make another video just solving the algorithm and flowchart of all these statements. Okay, so let me just cover the theory part here. So after that we can go for all other parts. So now next one is third one. Okay, so third one is if else statement. Okay, so this type of statement, it is used when there are two possible options are there. Okay, so if there is only, okay, we'll say only two options available, Previously it was only one option. Okay, there was only one option, but now we have two options available. So it is again based on test condition, we can say. Fine. So let me write the syntax of this. So it is if test condition, if it is true, it is going to execute the statement inside this block. If it is not true, it is going to else part and it is going to execute the statement inside its body. Okay, so one general example can be, for example, write a program to print whether a number is positive or negative. Okay, we have to print both, whether it is positive or negative. So it will be if num is greater than 0. So what we'll do, we'll print if it is positive, else we are going to print it is negative. Okay, fine. So it is common sense, if a number is not positive, so it is going to be negative. So in previous case this part was not there. Okay, we always write these these keywords in a small letter. Okay, we never use semicolon after any test condition. Semicolon means terminating this statement, so we never terminate this. Fine. And in else part we never put any condition here in if else. Okay, here you cannot write that num is less than 0. If it is not there, so else is there. Okay, so let's go to the flowchart of this. This is very important. This algorithm and flowchart are very frequently asked in exam. Okay, so I'll make another separate video for writing algorithm and flowchart for questions only. Okay, exam type of questions. So flowchart is, we have start, we'll go to test condition. If it is true, so statement 1 is executed. Now if it is false, there is a separate statement for this. Okay, statement 2 is executed. Sorry, this is not there, it's like this. So finally after executing either any of one of this, we encountered the end statement. Okay, so this is the algorithm and flowchart for if else. I hope you are getting this. So again, don't worry, I'll be making a separate video for algorithm and flowchart, and for program we have already uploaded the video. Please go and watch that. Next is fourth number, I think this is. It is nested if else. Okay, so nested if else means inside if else condition. Okay, another if else is written inside the body of first if else. Okay, so let me write the syntax and you'll understand this. The syntax of this will be, if we have a condition, we have a test condition, inside the body of this if we go, we have got another if. Okay, so this has its own statement, statement 1, and its own else, statement 2. Okay, so you can see this is if condition, first if condition. So inside this has its own set of if else, and again we have else condition. So inside this else, this is else part of this if. Okay, this if has this else. So inside this it can have this own statement 3. Okay, or again if you want, you can write inside this else, you can write another if else statement. It is nested. Okay, so it's like this. If statement, inside this if it has its own set of if else, again there is else statement, and inside this else it can have its own set of if else statement. Fine, I hope you got this. Okay, let me write it clearly if you are not getting. It's like this. If condition, if there is a condition, inside this if we have again another if. Okay, so let me write this condition 1, this condition 2. So inside this if we have, it's a statement 1, we have else, inside this we have a statement 2, okay, else. So again inside this else again we have if condition 3, it has got its statement 3, and again it has its own else, that is statement 4. Close. Again one closing for this else. Okay, so one set of if else, another set of if else. Fine, so let me write a flow chart of this. Okay, so start, I'll not write start, I'll directly start for condition because we don't have space here. So condition 1, C1 means condition 1. So if it is true, it is going to condition 2. If it is true, it is going to a statement 1. If it is false, it is going to a statement 2. Okay, again here side, if it is false, it is going to condition 3. If it is true, it is going to have its statement 3. Sorry, if it is true, yeah. If it is false, it is going to have its statement 4. Okay, and finally we have another statement, we can say, or end condition. So all of them are going to come here only. We can have end here. Okay, so this is the flow chart of nested if else. Okay, so example of if you see the example of nested if else, that is nested if else. Okay, so the example can be write a program to find write a program to read 3 numbers and determine the largest among them. Okay, so there are multiple ways of doing this. So using this method, also the example, because this one is a bit confusing topic. So for this, if you want to find, suppose there are 3 numbers N1, N2 and N3, and if you find the larger among this, which one is larger among N1, N2 and N3, so we can use nested if else statement. So let's see how we are using this. So hash include, I'm not going to write all the syntax here, it will be hash include studio.h, and next I'll start directly with both, okay, because this is just a sample program. So let me take 3 numbers N1, N2 and N3. Okay, so I'm going to read it directly. All these programs we have done in video number 5.2, so please go and watch there. I'm just going to read this. Ampersand N2 and ampersand N3. Okay, so how we are going to use nested if else? So there is an if statement. If N1 is greater than N2, and this is the body of this if statement, if N1 is greater than N3. Okay, so see, N1 is greater than N2 and N1 is greater than N3. We are checking for this N1 with both other number. If in both cases, if N1 is greater than N2 and N3, then what we can write is, we can print it N1 is largest. Okay, else. So this else is of this if. This is the pair of this if else. Else what we are going to print? Printf. Okay, so inside this body, if you are going to see, okay, you can find that if N1 is greater than N2, then N1 is largest, else N3 is largest. Okay, so this is for this block. Okay, so for this block, if this is not true, then the other side will be true. Okay, so now what we'll do, we'll close this if. So the next part will be else. Okay, body of this else, if n2 is greater than n3. Okay, so what are we going to print? Printf n2 is largest. Okay, else what are we going to print? Printf n3 is largest. So this is the body of this else and this is the pair of this. Okay, so see, for this, if we have got this else, so if this condition is not true, it means that in else part internally we have n2 is greater than n1 internally, because we are not going to write the condition here. So if this is not true, it means that in else part we have the opposite of this, that is n2 is greater than n1. Fine. So here n2 is greater than n1. So again we are checking for n2 is greater than n3. If in both case n2 is greater, so what we can print? N2 is greater. Okay. So this is the best example for nested if else statement. Fine. I hope you got this. Let's go to next statement, that is, okay, what is left? I guess if else if, yeah. So again one of the, I think this is 5th number statement, if else if statement. Okay, so again this is one of the important statement you can say. So when it is used when we have more than two possible when we have more than two possible action. Okay, when we have more than two possible action which depends on the result of test expression, text condition we can say. Okay, so what is the syntax? So let me write the syntax for this and then we'll go to the flowchart of this. Okay, so I think it will not come in this, so I'm going to erase this portion. Okay, so let's go to the syntax part. So its syntax will be, okay, so syntax will be, first of all we have if condition, if we have test condition 1, if this is true then we are going to execute statement 1. Okay, so after this we will continue with else if. Else if we have condition 2, test condition 2. If it is true, so it will be executing statement 2. Again else if, okay, condition 3. If it is true, we are going to execute statement 3. Okay, similarly we can write for n statements and at the end we will have a else statement. So if this is true, we are going to execute a default statement. Okay, we are going to execute a default statement. So example of this can be, for example of this can be, for example, yeah, this will be the best example for this. For example, if you want to print vowel, so we have A, E, I, O, U. Yeah, so if this 5 letter comes, so these are the vowels, else all other letters are character. Okay, so we can write like this. If you take a character, so we can write if character equals to A. Okay, I'm just writing the syntax. Okay, this is not the program. So we are going to print it is a vowel. Else if character is equals to E, we are going to write this is a vowel. Else if character is I, we are going to write it is vowel. Like this for OU also, and at the end we will write else if none of these are there, so we are going to print it is a consonant. Okay, so this is the structure I am explaining. This is not the program. If you want me to solve this particular program, so please comment, do comment, so that I'll cover in next video, because it will be a lengthy video if I cover here all the programs. So all the programs we have covered in next video, you can check there. Let's go to the flowchart portion. Okay, so the flowchart we can draw like this for this if else if statement. So first of all there is condition 1. Just remember previous algorithm, okay, for this. So it is the condition 1. Okay, so if it is true, sorry, this is the error. So it is going to execute statement 1. If it is false, so it will go and check condition 2. Okay, if it is true, it will execute statement 2. If it is false, it will go and check condition 3. If it is true, it will execute statement 3. If it is false, okay, in similar way it is going to check for any statement. Finally, we have last condition, that is else part condition, okay, condition n we can say. So if it is true, it is going to execute a statement n, and if it is false, so what it is going to do, it is going to execute the default statement. Okay, so in this way we can end this. So if outside this, if there is anything, we can just print this. Okay, the statement, if there is any statement, we can print that, else we are going to end this. Okay, so this will be example of if statement. So again, we have a number of program for this. Okay, so we have covered in next video, please check that. Right, so let's go to next topic, that is looping. So again, in this I'll be covering only the theory part, this video. So the theory, flowchart and algorithm. So next is second number, we have looping. So I have finished decision statement, all the statement inside decision I have finished it. So next word is looping. So looping is also called iteration or repeating. Okay, repeating, this is R, repeating construct. Okay, so why it is called looping iteration or repeating a statement? Because here statements are, a block of statements are repeatedly executed for a number of time until a particular condition is satisfied. Okay, so I'll be telling you what is this. So while seeing the example, you'll get to know. So one example is, for example, if I'll tell you, write a program to print hello 5 times. So if you don't know this, the concept of looping, so what you are going to do, has include void main, and inside this void main you are going to execute this printf statement, printf hello statement. How many times? 5 times. Okay, so fine, this is okay for if it is 5 times you can write, but if I tell you to execute this statement 1000 times, you are going to write 1000 lines of code. So this one is time consuming, okay, time consuming, lengthy, okay, and it takes a lot of memory, okay, time, memory, space. Okay, so this program will not be efficient. For a good programmer, you should write a program that is more efficient. Okay, so for these things we are going to use looping, iteration or repeating constructs. Okay, so this program we can execute in a single line of code. I'll be showing you. So for this, let's start the types of looping constructs. So we had 3 types of looping constructs. Let's start with number 1. So what were the 3 looping constructs? For loop, while loop and do while loop. Let's start with number 1, that is for loop. Okay, so definition will be same for all the construct, for, while and do while. That is the same definition as I wrote for the looping. That is, it is going to execute a block of a statement for a number of time till a condition is met. Okay, so write that same statement. I am not going to write the statement for this. Now directly going to the syntax part. The syntax of for the statement will be, we start with the keyword for. Okay, next we have initialization, okay, semicolon, we have test condition, semicolon, we have update expression we can write. Okay, yeah, update expression we can write. Okay, and after that we have the curly bracket open and curly bracket close, which is called body of this for statement. Fine. So here we'll never put semicolon. If you put a semicolon here, it means that it will never go to the body. The statement ends here. So what is initialization? We are going to use a counter for these statements. Okay, what is counter? Counter means you are going to increase it. You are going to count it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 like this. It increases by some value. Or you can also put a decreasing counter, that is it starts from 5, so 4, 3, 2, 1, according to your choice you can change it. Okay, so it is going to use a counter. So first we are going to initialize this counter. For example, let's consider that the counter is I. You can take any variable. Okay, any variable name you can use as counter. So let's take suppose that it is I. So initialization will be, if you initialize the value of this counter as something, so we generally initialize it as 0. Okay, test condition. Test condition means till which condition we are going to use this counter. So as in previous example I told you, write a program to print hello world 5 times. So we can write here till I is less than equals to 5. It means that it is going to run for 5 times. Update means we are going to increase this counter by value of 1. So we can write I plus plus. Okay, so this is how for loop is used. So let's write the previous example. So if you want to, okay, let's go for the flowchart first, then I can write the example. So I'll write here only the flowchart. So initially you can start with, okay, let me write here. Okay, so syntax for this for loop will be, we'll start with all the programs, and finally for for loop we'll have this counter initialization, okay, which was I equals to 0, we'll write here. After that we'll go to test condition. Okay, so for example this is test condition, so that was I less than I less than equals to 5 it was, and if it is false we are going to exit, and if it is true we are going to print whatever we wanted, that is statement or body of loop we can say. Okay, finally what we'll do, we'll update the expression, update expression. Okay, and this is going to form a loop. Okay, see, this is going to this is going to form a loop. Okay, so remember this for loop. Let me just decrease this, bring it here. Yeah, so see, this was the for loop. Okay, so here what we are doing, this part, initialization part, we are writing here. Test condition we are writing here. Okay, update expression, it is there, and it moves like this. For example, I equals to 0. Okay, we initialize this as I equals to 0. So we are going to test the conditions. I less than equals to 5. Is 0 less than equals to 5? Yes, it is true. If it is true, it comes inside here, it prints whatever we have to print, and then it goes back to the this expression. So after printing, it is going to increase the value of I by 1. So here the I value of I becomes 1. So again 1 is less than equals to 5. Yes, it's true. So it comes inside, it prints the condition. Like this it is going to run for 5 times. Okay, fine. So this is the flowchart. For example, if you want to write previous program, that is printing hello world 5 times, so has include studio.h, then what we are going to do, void main, I'm going to write the program. So for I equals to 0, I less than equals to 5, I plus plus. Okay, so this is void main. So body of for loop, let me write this here. So it is going to printf hello. Let me only print hello /n for new line, as it is going to be printed 5 times. Okay, so what happens? So after void main, I can initialize the value of I, that is int I here only. Or if you forget to initialize the value of int I, or declare the value, if you forget to declare int, that is I, variable I, you can declare here also, that is int I equals to 0 directly. Okay, so let's go to the loop. So I is equals to 0, we have initialized it. Let's take I, 0 is less than or equals to 5. Yes, it is true. So what it does, it comes inside the body, it prints hello, so it will be hello. Okay, again after printing it goes to here, so it increases the value of I by 1. Now the value of I becomes 1, so it comes here, check the value, I equals to 1, yet it is true, so it is going to print hello once again. Again it goes here, increase the value of I, so it increases to 2, check it, so again hello, 3, check it, again hello, 4, check it, again hello. Okay, so when it comes to 5, the value becomes 5. 5 is less than or equals to 5. Yeah, it is true. So it will print hello, and the moment the value of I increases to 6, it comes and check here. 6 is less than or equals to 5. No, it is not true. So it doesn't go inside the body of for loop. Where it goes? It goes outside. So it outside, if you have put gets function or any other function, it is going to execute that, and finally the program terminates. Okay, so this is the syntax of for loop. Let's go to another second looping we have. So second function we have, okay, let's increase this to some. Okay, so second B number we have while loop. Okay, let's go to the syntax part very quickly. Syntax, it will be while. Okay, we have test condition, we'll write here only, and finally the body of loop or statement we can say. Okay, so what will be the flowchart? We'll start. Okay, we'll start. If you have any other declaration, you can write here. Else we'll go and we'll initialize. Okay, initialize. We'll test the condition. We'll test the condition. If it is false, it is going to exit. If it is true, it is going to execute the body of loop, and it is going to update or increment or decrement the value. Till when? Till the condition is true, hence it is forming a loop. So this is called the loop. Okay, so here in this case we are going to initialize the value of I before while only here. Okay, test condition we are checking here. If it is true, body of loop is there, and we are going to update the value of inside the body of loop. We are going to update it. Okay, but we don't write in syntax. Syntax is only this much. So previous example, if you are going to print the print hello using while statement, so how you will write? While I is less than or equals to 5. Okay, printf hello, and we increase the value of I by 1, and before while we are initializing the value of I as 0. Okay, so this is the example of syntax of while loop. Next, let's go to do while loop. Let me write the syntax for do while loop. Okay, so 3 number we have do while loop. Okay, so again it is going to execute the statement for a number of time till a condition is met. Fine. So here the statement is do, and we have body of loop, and after that we have here while and test condition. Okay, so here we terminate it by a semicolon. Right, so if you are going to flow chart, so it is directly, it will be body of loop. If it is true, it is going to check for the condition, okay, and it is going to execute the body of loop for a number of time till a condition is met. If it is false, it is going to exit. Okay, so if you see the difference of while and do while, in while, till the condition was not met, the body of loop cannot be executed, but here the body is executed at least once, whether the condition is true or not. Okay, even if the condition is not true, it is going to execute the body for at least once. Okay, so previous program can be written as do printf hello, okay, while I is less than equals to 5. Okay, so even if the value, if you give the value of I as 6 also, it is going to print hello at least once. Okay, so this is the difference between while and do while. Okay, so while loop is also called entry control loop and do while is also called exit control loop. So let me quickly write the difference of these two. This is very important question for point of view, for exam point of view. Okay, so let me write this: while loop and do while loop. Okay, so first difference will be, it is entry controlled loop. Second will be, it is exit controlled loop. Okay, here statement is not executed till condition is true. Here a statement is executed at least once, even if the condition is not true. Next difference can be, you can write the syntax. Okay, so I'm not going to repeat the syntax here. Okay, next difference can be, you can write the flowchart. Again, flowchart. Okay, so this is for 4 marks they can ask. This is very important question. So in next video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write algorithm and flowchart for each of this with an example. Okay, so in this video I have not covered the example. I have just taught you the theory part, the syntax, and the algorithm. The flowchart part. So for writing algorithm, we need a question. So next video I'll try to cover for all topics. I'll try to cover a question with algorithm and flowchart. Okay. And I think next part we have left it some extra statements like switch. So switch statement I have covered. So theory portion I'll be covering. Switch statement, continue, break statement, and go to. Okay. So all that portions will be covering. So this one will be 5.1.a I think. So in this way I'll be making 2 to 3 parts of this. Okay. So already we have uploaded 5.2 and 5.3. You can go and check. So these all videos contain the program, real world program. Okay, till then stay safe and thank you.